Okay, Xander, how to stop being defensive in my marriage?
Ooh, that's a $1 million question right there.
This one's an entire
Damn.
podcast episode, but
That's what I was about to say.
let's see what we can do in a few minutes. How do you
Okay.
stop being defensive?
All right, so this is coming from somebody who used to be quite defensive in his marriage, and I still catch myself sometimes with that defensiveness coming up. I do think that this is another mindset shift. Like the broad answer is we got to shift our mindset, similar to the bouncing back after a sexual experience. With that one, it was sort of an acceptance thing. I need to accept that, they're not all going to be perfect. In this case, it's a mindset shift of I am going to be wrong in my marriage. I am going to hurt my partner. I am going to say things that I don't mean or that come off differently than how I intended them. I am not going to be perfect in this relationship. And sort of an understanding or an acceptance of that. I think that so very often, and at least I don't know, I can't speak for women. I think like the way that men are socialized, like we can be socialized into being defensive from a very young age. And I think about like, being in elementary school on the playground and like, you know, two kids get into a fight about something, or one kid like does something to another one, and it's like, what the teachers tell you is like, okay, you have to apologize. And I think that it's this sort of enforced apologizing thing that very quickly solidifies this idea of every time something happens, someone is in the right and someone is in the wrong. And who wants to be in the wrong all the
Mm-hmm.
time?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the reality is in relationships is that there's very few times where there's an objective like this person is 100% in the right and this person is 100% in the wrong. In relationships, there are complex dynamics at play.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, yeah, I could say something really hurtful to Vanessa, but also like Vanessa's probably not saying very helpful things, before I say that, or like the way that she reacts to what I say, you know, causes it to get worse, or increase the intensity or whatever. And so it's like for the very vast majority of situations, like there are things that we are both at fault for. I'm putting at fault in in air quotes, but like ways that we are both contributing to situations not being the best. Because if you're saying I'm a good man who never hurts his wife and never says anything that I don't mean, or or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and then you find yourself in a situation where perhaps you have done something like that, then you kind of just polarize in your head and go, oh no, I'm going to just be defensive and find any kind of excuse for why that didn't happen the way it did. But if we can approach it like, yeah, I expect to hurt you. I expect to screw up. I expect to have to learn and grow and improve. Then there's not so much to be defensive about. It's like, oh, shoot, I hurt you. That sucks. Let me think, like, let me actually feel into that, what that feels like. Cause it's like feeling that disappointment. Oh my God, that's not what I meant to say, but I can totally see how you interpreted what I said in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that hurts. I can't take that hurt away from you right now. And that feeling, like that gives you the motivation to grow and change.
Oh, there's so much that we could say about this. Let us know if you want us to do a whole episode on defensiveness, because I'm like, my brain's going nuts right now. But come on over to Instagram, Vanessa and Xander, and let us know. So, okay. Number one, we have to show our favorite piece of relationship advice that we literally have tattooed on our bodies,
Boom.
the word and. Mine's really tiny. You're probably not going to see it in the video.
Mine's bigger.
So, this is literally my favorite relationship advice. It's the understanding that two things can be true at the same time, even two seemingly conflicting things. So, I think often we get to a place of defensiveness because we want to be the one and only right person in the relationship. But your mindset and your relationship will shift completely if you can recognize that two things can be true. I can feel X and Xander can feel Y. There is no one right objective truth. Both of those things are true because we are feeling them. And so I don't have to defend myself or defend my position to the death to be the one and only right truth if I'm recognizing that two things can be true. So that just instantly cuts down the defensiveness. It's like I can hold on to what my experience was, my perspective was, and honor your experience and your perspective at the same time rather than battling them out. I also think a lot about the difference between intent and impact. So I think a lot of times people get defensive when their partner says, you hurt my feelings or you did this to me. And then we want to defend ourselves like, I didn't mean to. That's not what I said. I didn't do that. But if we can recognize the difference between intent and impact, yes, I didn't intend to hurt you, but the impact that I did have is that it did hurt you. And it doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't wash away what my intent was. The intent and the impact, it's another and. Like both of those things can be true at the same time. But if we can honor both of those things, that also really cuts defensiveness off at the knees too. And then I also think it's just I don't know how to say it. It's a totally different way of looking at the world. Is just being able to recognize we're going to fuck up. We're going to make mistakes. We're not perfect. I do things to hurt you and annoy you and irritate you all the time. And I love you. I never want to have a negative impact on you. I want you to think I'm the best person on the entire planet. But I'm human and I'm just going to do those things. And so for me, hearing things that I've done, it always sucks. I'm never excited. Like, oh, amazing, great. I'm so glad I hurt you. I'm so glad to notice yet another fault in myself.
Oh, another learning opportunity. Can't wait.
Fucking learning opportunity. But at the same time, it is also this recognition of, yeah, I'm human and I do make mistakes and I fuck up sometimes. And being able to acknowledge that and take ownership of that has such a big impact on your relationship too, that it makes it feel worth it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I'm going to just stop us there because there's so much more that could be said, but.
That was great. We both had 2 long monologues.
I was feeling a little defensiveness.
I was feeling a little self-conscious. I was like, wow, I just talked for a while. And then you did too, so it's all good.
It's a big, meaty topic.
It is.
And it's something that makes such a big impact on relationships when we can get rid of our defensiveness. I mean, defensiveness is one of the biggest killers of relationships. It just makes everything feel awful.
Yeah, there's so much available to you if you can. You can't ever get rid of defensiveness completely. It is a very natural human emotion that you are always going to feel to some degree, but it's how we respond to it. But yeah, there's so much more available to you in your relationship, in life, if you can decrease the amount of defensiveness that you approach situations with.